So this is the practice test and me going over the practice test. Once again, I advise that you do the problems first as much as you can and then watch the video. That way you're learning by doing. If you just watch me do the problems right away and just copy everything down, you're not really learning anything. This is the first this isn't the first time you've seen this material, so you should be able to do most of this on your own by now. So the first thing we have to do is we have to name the function. The first one is a quadratic because it's a parabola and because of the squared. There's a vertical shift up 1 because of the plus 1. I apologize for my poor handwriting in this. And horizontal shift horizontal shift right 3. Okay, the domain is all reals. The range is y is greater than or equal to 1. Alright, the next one is absolute value. It is going to be a vertical shift down 1. We can see that from the minus 1. And it looks like because you're multiplying by 2, there's also a vertical stretch. The domain is all real numbers. And the range is y is greater than or equal to -1 because it starts at -1 on the y-axis and it's going up. All right. Oh. Okay, let's try this next one. This next one is just a linear equation. And because of the plus 3, vertical shift up 3. And it looks like a vertical shrink because you're multiplying by 1/2. The domain is all real numbers because every number is being used on the x-axis. And so is the range. All right, and that's it for the first page. All right, this next one is writing equations of linear, writing linear equations. So the first one, we're given 2 points. When you start with 2 points, you're going to want to find the slope first, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to be 1 minus 0 over -2 minus -5, which is actually a plus 5, so this should be 1/7. Then we have to use the slope or the point slope form because now we do have the slope. It doesn't matter what point you use, but there's a 0 in this one, so I'm going to start with that. So that's going to be y plus 5, or excuse me, it should be minus 0 equals 1/7 x plus 5. Y minus 0 is just y. Distribute the 1/7. This is our answer. Slope-intercept form. The next one is pretty simple. You're given a point and a slope, or actually a slope and a y-intercept. So there's really not much thinking here. Y equals mx plus b. So to get the slope-intercept form, -9 over 2x plus 4 is the answer. That's it. You just put the slope where m is, you put the y-intercept where the b is. This one we're given in standard form, but we have to get in slope-intercept form. So that basically means get y by itself. Subtract 5x from both sides. Divide everything by -1. Y equals 5x minus 7. That's it. Okay, next one, we're given a point and a slope. So we start with point slope form. So y minus 2 equals 1/5 x plus 1, because 1/5 of 5 is 1. And then we add 2 to both sides. Goes away, so y equals 1/5 x plus 3. That's our answer. And that's it for number 7, right? So again, this is just basically using point slope form to get to slope intercept form for most of these. And hopefully you remember how to do this. Remember to do the discussion post so that way you know, that way I know if you have any questions over any of these and you want me to go over any of them again. 8 and 9 is very similar, except now they give us a line. So we have parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. So the slope of this line is -1, right? Meaning the slope of the line we're going to find is -1 because parallel lines have the same slope. Oops. Okay, so y minus, which is actually plus 3, because it's minus a -3, -1, x minus 1. So y plus 3, distribute the -1, subtract 3 from both sides. So that's just -x minus 2. Over here we have perpendicular lines, so the slope now is actually the opposite reciprocal, which means it's -2. But the process is still the same. Sorry, I went back a little too far. So y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Y minus 3 equals -2 times the quantity x plus 2, because we're substituting the 2 in, or the -2 in, which changes to a positive. Distribute the -2. Made a mistake. Add 3 to both sides. This should actually be a -1. That should be the answer. Okay. Next thing is sketching the graph of the lines. So this is y-intercept at -1. Slope is -2/1. So we go down 2/1, or you can go up to left 1. So your line looks like that. There we go. So it was delayed. X equals 4, remember, is a special kind of line. That's actually a vertical line because everywhere, does not matter what y is, x is always 4. See how on the x-axis there's 4? X is always 4. Doesn't matter what point you choose. So basically, it's just a vertical line. One way you can remember this is x equals kind of looks like 2 V's put together, and V stands for vertical. So that's one way you can remember it. Okay. Oops. Those are the answers. Okay, last two's in standard form, so this is a little different. So we have to get y by itself first. So I'm just going to rewrite the problem on this side. Subtract 7x from both sides. Now remember, when you do this, write the x term first on the right side. So that we have negative 7x and then a plus 12. And then divide everything by negative 3. Y equals negative 7 over negative 3 is 7/3. Don't forget the x. Negative 12 over negative 3 is plus 4. Now we can graph it. Plus 4, because that's our y-intercept. And then we go up 7, which would be too high. So we actually have to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left 3, because we already went down. 1, 2, 3. And try to look this as straight as possible. That's our line. This one very similar. 2x plus y equals negative 4. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So y equals negative 2x minus 4. So negative 4 down 2 over 1 and up 2 over 1. Because that's the slope. Okay. And that's it. So those are all the answers to the practice test. If you want me to go over anything more in detail and more slowly before the test on Thursday, please let me know and I can do that for you. All the answers are also, not all of them, most of the answers are also on the last page of the practice test. Obviously, you shouldn't just copy down the answers. If you don't turn in the practice test with the work shown, you will not receive credit. So make sure you have it done with the work shown. Okay, don't forget to do the discussion posts to let me know anything that you would like me to go over before the test. And good luck studying.